Well, well, look at these two sluts dressed like they're asking for trouble. Officer Brad Coleman's words slice through Murphy's bar like a blade. Every conversation stops. Every phone comes up. The Friday night crowd turns to stare. Alexis Williams sits frozen, her white crop top suddenly feeling like a target. Her twin sister Morgan grips her drink tighter. 3 months of FBI surveillance work. 3 months tracking Henderson's money laundering ring. All about to crumble. Coleman strides forward, his backup officers spreading out to block exits. You two match robbery suspects. Hands behind your heads, now! Sir, there's been a mistake, Alexis says, her voice steady despite the humiliation burning her cheeks. Shut up, Coleman barks. On your feet, ladies. Time to see what kind of trouble you've really been causing. He reaches for his handcuffs. The crowd holds its breath. Nobody knows what's coming next. 6 hours earlier, the fluorescent lights of the FBI regional office cast harsh shadows across Conference Room 7B. Special Agent Alexis Williams checks her appearance in her phone camera one final time. The white crop top and black shorts feel foreign after months of business suits, but tonight demands a different kind of armor. Her twin sister Morgan emerges from the women's restroom, tugging at her identical outfit. I still can't believe we're doing this, she mutters, adjusting the wireless microphone hidden beneath her top's fabric. 3 months of surveillance comes down to tonight, Alexis replies, sliding a micro camera into her purse's secret compartment. Henderson's finally meeting his primary money laundering contact. We get this evidence, we close down the entire operation. Special Agent Rodriguez briefs them in the hallway, her voice low and urgent. Remember, your college friends celebrating Morgan's birthday. Henderson uses Murphy's bar every third Friday for high-level transactions. His contact arrives at 10 p.m. sharp. The sisters nod, but Rodriguez isn't finished. Most importantly, local police aren't read in on this operation. Metro PD has been requesting intel on our organized crime investigations. We can't risk a leak. Alexis feels the familiar weight of her FBI badge in her purse's inner pocket. What if something goes sideways? Backup is stationed 3 blocks away, Rodriguez assures them. 15 minutes maximum response time. But Henderson's paranoid about federal surveillance. If he spots anything official, he'll disappear forever. The elevator ride down feels endless. Morgan breaks the silence first. You know what Mom would say if she saw us dressed like this for work? She'd probably remind us that we have Georgetown Law and MIT degrees, Alexis laughs, but the humor feels forced. 3 months of building cover identities, 3 months of dangerous proximity to Henderson's organization, all riding on one night. They review the plan one final time in the parking garage. Morgan's phone contains encrypted FBI communication software disguised as a dating app. Alexis carries recording equipment hidden in makeup compacts and jewelry. Their fake IDs identify them as marketing consultants from D.C., young professionals with disposable income and flexible morals. The drive to Murphy's bar takes 23 minutes through Friday evening traffic. Alexis parks 2 blocks away, ensuring multiple escape routes. The October air bites through their minimal clothing, but the discomfort serves the mission. Henderson expects to see attractive young women who prioritize appearance over comfort. Murphy's bar represents everything their investigation targets. Old money establishment with leather booths and brass fixtures. Clientele predominantly white professionals with expensive suits and expensive secrets. The perfect cover for laundering drug money through seemingly legitimate business transactions. They enter separately, Morgan first, then Alexis 5 minutes later. The bartender, a friendly guy named Mike Torres, recognizes them from previous surveillance visits. The usual? He asks with a knowing smile. Birthday celebration tonight, Morgan announces loudly enough for nearby tables to hear. My sister's buying the expensive stuff. The performance begins immediately. They discuss fictional marketing campaigns and imaginary client problems, establishing their cover story for anyone listening. Henderson's organization has shown interest in businesses that handle large cash flows with minimal oversight. At 9:30, Henderson arrives exactly on schedule. Thin man in an expensive charcoal suit, flanked by two associates who scan the room like professional security. He surveys the Friday night crowd, his eyes lingering on attractive young women before settling on a corner booth. Alexis catches Morgan's eye in the bar mirror. Game time. But across town, an anonymous caller dials 911. "I want to report suspicious activity at Murphy's bar," the voice says calmly. Two black females, early 20s, wearing revealing clothing. They've been watching customers all evening. Matches the description of robbery suspects from last week. The caller provides detailed descriptions of their outfits, their seating location, even their drink preferences. Information only someone watching very carefully would know. The trap is set. The Williams sisters have no idea they're walking into an ambush designed to destroy everything they've worked for. 9:30 p.m. Henderson settles into his corner booth like a king claiming his throne. His two associates position themselves strategically, one facing the entrance, the other monitoring the bar area. The Friday night crowd provides perfect cover for illegal business. Alexis sips her Cosmopolitan and laughs at Morgan's fake story about a difficult client. Every gesture appears natural, but her micro camera captures Henderson's every movement. 3 months of preparation distilled into this critical moment. "Table 7 is getting interesting," Morgan whispers, pretending to show Alexis something on her phone. Her FBI surveillance app records everything within a 20-foot radius. Henderson checks his expensive watch. 9:45 p.m. His contact should arrive any minute. The bar door opens. A heavy-set man in a navy suit enters, scanning the room before approaching Henderson's table. Alexis recognizes him from FBI surveillance photos. Vincent Marsh, suspected of moving drug money through construction company accounts. "Gentlemen," Marsh says as he slides into the booth. "Beautiful evening for business." Henderson's smile never reaches his eyes. "Indeed. My associates tell me you're interested in our cash flow optimization services." The conversation flows like scripted theater. Henderson explains his import-export business, while Marsh discusses investment opportunities. Every word is carefully coded, but the meaning is crystal clear to trained federal agents. "We handle flexible banking relationships," Henderson continues, his voice barely audible above the bar's ambient noise. "Traditional institutions ask too many questions about large deposits." Marsh nods eagerly. "My construction projects generate significant cash revenue. End-of-day deposits sometimes exceed regulatory comfort zones." Alexis's pulse quickens. This is exactly the evidence they need. Henderson admitting to money laundering services, Marsh confessing to suspicious cash handling. 3 months of dangerous undercover work finally paying off. Morgan's phone buzzes with an encrypted message from FBI headquarters. "Primary target confirmed. Continue surveillance. Backup standing by." 9:52 p.m. Henderson produces a leather portfolio from his briefcase. "Our fee structure is straightforward. 3% of amounts under $500,000, 2% above that threshold." "And the timeline for processing?" Marsh asks, leaning forward conspiratorially. 48 hours maximum. Money enters dirty, exits clean through our restaurant and consulting businesses. No questions, no paper trail, no federal attention." The admission hangs in the air like a confession. Alexis fights to maintain her party girl expression while her recording equipment captures every incriminating word. Then Henderson's associate near the entrance stiffens. His hand moves to his jacket pocket as he spots something outside. Police cars, multiple units, blue and red lights painting the street. "Boss," the associate murmurs urgently, "we've got company." Henderson follows his gaze and his face drains of color. "Federal agents?" "Local police. 3 units, maybe 4. The money launderer's paranoia kicks into overdrive. His eyes darted around the bar, landing on every young professional, every couple sharing drinks, every person who might be watching too carefully. His gaze settles on the Williams sisters. "Those two," Henderson says quietly, nodding toward the bar. They've been here too long. Drinking slowly, watching everything. Marsh turns to look. You think they're cops? Someone called this in, Henderson replies, already standing. And those two look exactly like undercover federal agents trying too hard to blend in. The trap springs shut. 3 months of careful work about to explode in their faces. Well, look at these two sluts dressed like they're asking for trouble. Officer Coleman's words hit the bar like a physical blow. The Friday night conversations die instantly. Phones emerge from pockets and purses as patrons sense drama unfolding. Alexis feels every eye in Murphy's bar focusing on her white crop top and black shorts. The outfit that seemed perfect for undercover work now feels like a scarlet letter. Her cheeks burn with humiliation, but FBI training keeps her voice steady. Sir, there's been a mistake, she begins, but Coleman cuts her off with a dismissive wave. Shut up, he barks, stepping closer until she can smell the coffee on his breath. You think I'm stupid? 2 girls dressed like hookers, sitting here all night watching people? You match the description of robbery suspects. Morgan's grip tightens on her drink. 3 months of surveillance work crumbling in real time. Henderson and Marsh are already moving toward the back exit, their incriminating conversation lost forever. On your feet, Coleman commands, his backup officers spreading out to block the bar's exits. Let's see what kind of trouble you've really been causing. The crowd presses closer, phones held high. This isn't just an arrest anymore. It's becoming a public spectacle, and Coleman clearly relishes the attention. Officer, Alexis tries again, her FBI training screaming conflicting protocols. Reveal their identity and blow the investigation. Stay in character and risk escalation. We're just celebrating my sister's birthday. Birthday celebration? Coleman laughs coldly. Is that what we're calling it when girls dress like whores and case businesses for robbery? The words sting like slaps. Morgan starts to stand, her temper flaring, but Alexis catches her eye. Hold position. Maintain cover. Hope for a miracle. Mike Torres, the bartender, watches the confrontation with a growing alarm. His phone is already recording, live streaming to his Instagram account. The viewer count climbs steadily. 47 viewers, 156, 302. This is ridiculous, a regular customer mutters loud enough for everyone to hear. Those girls weren't doing anything wrong. Coleman spins toward the voice. Does anyone else want to interfere with police business? The customer shrinks back, but others murmur agreement. The crowd's sympathy clearly lies with the Williams sisters, but that only seems to fuel Coleman's aggression. Turn around, he orders, pulling handcuffs from his belt. Hands behind your back. Wait, Morgan says, finally standing. Her MIT-trained mind calculates probabilities rapidly. Best case scenario. They're detained for hours while Henderson's entire organization disappears. Worst case, physical altercation, potential injury, national news story about FBI agents assaulted by local police. Did I tell you to move? Coleman shouts, his hand dropping to his service weapon. Sit down and shut up! The gesture sends ripples of shock through the crowd. Several patrons back away from the bar area. Mike's livestream viewer count explodes, 2,847 and climbing. Officer Jackson, Coleman's backup, approaches Morgan with practiced aggression. Your sister wants to do this the hard way. You're going to be smart about this? Alexis weighs their options in milliseconds. FBI protocol demands they identify themselves if physical violence becomes imminent. But revealing their status will destroy 3 months of dangerous work and let Henderson's money laundering network escape justice. Please, Alexis says, trying once more to de-escalate. We haven't done anything illegal, we're just having drinks. Bullshit! Coleman grabs her arm roughly, twisting it behind her back. The expensive fabric of her crop top strains against the sudden movement. You think I'm some rookie who falls for sob stories? The handcuffs click around Alexis's wrists with metallic finality. The sound echoes through the silent bar like a gunshot. "This is insane!" someone in the crowd calls out. "They're obviously not criminals." "Call a lawyer," another voice suggests. "Somebody record this." Mike's phone captures everything. Coleman's excessive force, the sisters' professional composure under pressure, the crowd's growing outrage. Comments flood his live stream faster than he can read them. "These girls are way too calm to be criminals." "Cop is totally out of line." "Something's not right here." "This is going to be on the news." Henderson watches from the back corner, his paranoia vindicated. Whether the women are federal agents or not, their cover is blown. He signals his associates, and they slip toward the rear exit while everyone focuses on the arrest. 3 months of FBI surveillance work dissolving into chaos. The money laundering evidence was lost. The criminal network scatters like roaches when the lights come on. Alexis meets Morgan's eyes across the bar. Her twin sister's expression mirrors her own thoughts. They're running out of options. The mission is blown. Their careers might be destroyed. Time for the nuclear option. "Officer Coleman," Alexis says, her voice cutting through the chaos with sudden authority, "I strongly advise you to remove these handcuffs immediately." Something in her tone stops Coleman mid-motion. The bar falls completely silent. The moment of truth has arrived. The silence stretches like a held breath. Coleman stares at Alexis, confusion flickering across his face. Something about her tone, her sudden composure, doesn't match the party girl he thought he was arresting. "Remove the handcuffs." Coleman's laugh sounds forced now, uncertain. "Lady, you got some serious nerve talking to me like—" "Officer Coleman," Alexis interrupts, her voice carrying the unmistakable authority of someone accustomed to being obeyed. "My name is Special Agent Alexis Williams, Federal Bureau of Investigation, badge number 7429. Complete silence. The words hang in the air like a bomb waiting to explode. Every phone in the bar captures this moment. Mike's live stream viewer count skyrockets past 10,000 as word spreads across social media. Coleman's face cycles through disbelief, confusion, and dawning horror. "You're... what?" Morgan stands slowly, producing her credentials with deliberate calm. The gold FBI badge catches the bar's lighting, authentic and unmistakable. "Special Agent Morgan Williams, badge number 7431. You just handcuffed federal agents conducting an authorized undercover operation." The revelation hits the crowd like an electric shock. Gasps echo through Murphy's bar. Phones shake in trembling hands as people struggle to process what they're witnessing. "Holy shit, they're FBI!" someone shouts. Mike's live stream chat explodes. "No fucking way!" Did she just say FBI? This cop is so screwed. Screen recording this for evidence. Viral, viral, viral. Henderson freezes near the back exit. His blood runs cold as he realizes the truth. 3 months of careful surveillance. 3 months of FBI agents sitting in this bar, watching his every move, recording his conversations. His paranoia wasn't paranoia at all. His face drains of color as the implications crash over him. Every meeting, every transaction, every incriminating word he spoke tonight, all captured by federal agents. Coleman stares at Morgan's credentials, his mind struggling to accept reality. 10 years of police work, and he's never made a mistake this catastrophic. Federal agents, FBI agents. He handcuffed FBI agents. How do I know these are real?" Coleman stammers, but his voice lacks conviction. Deep down, he knows. The professional composure, the calm responses to his aggression, the way they handled the situation. These aren't party girls. These are trained federal agents. Morgan speed dials FBI regional office on speaker. The phone connects after one ring. This is Special Agent Morgan Williams, badge 7431, requesting immediate supervisor contact with local police. Priority Alpha. Director Sarah Carter's voice fills the silent bar. Agent Williams, this is Director Carter. What's your status? Director, we have a situation. Local police have detained Agent Alexis Williams and myself during an active federal surveillance operation. We need immediate intervention. The crowd presses closer, straining to hear every word. This isn't just an arrest anymore. This is a federal incident unfolding in real time, broadcast live to thousands of viewers. Director Carter, Coleman's voice cracks as he keys his radio. This is Sergeant Brad Coleman, Metro Police. We responded to an anonymous tip about suspicious individuals. Sergeant Coleman, Director Carter's voice could freeze fire. You are currently detaining 2 of my agents in the middle of a federal money laundering investigation. I strongly suggest you release Agent Williams immediately and step away. Henderson makes his decision. FBI agents blowing their cover means the investigation is public. His conversations tonight were recorded. His associates are probably being arrested right now. He bolts for the exit. But it's too late. The damage is done. 3 months of work were destroyed, but the truth is finally coming to light. Mike's viewer count passes 50,000. The story is already spreading beyond Murphy's Bar, beyond their city, racing across the internet at the speed of outrage. This is just the beginning. 10:15 p.m., 28 minutes since the handcuffs clicked shut. Mike Torres's live stream reaches 284,739 viewers. The story spreads across social media like wildfire. Channel 7's breaking news alert scrolls across screens. FBI agents handcuffed by police in bar incident. Captain Jennifer Hayes storms into Murphy's Bar, her face flushed with anger. 23 years on the force, and she's never seen such spectacular failure. Coleman! What the hell have you done? Coleman stands deflated near the bar, handcuffs finally removed from Alexis's wrists. His confidence has evaporated completely. Captain, we received an anonymous tip about suspicious individuals, he says weakly. Detailed descriptions matching these agents. Federal agents, Coleman. FBI agents conducting authorized investigation. Hayes turns to damage control mode. Agents, on behalf of Metro Police, I apologize for this misunderstanding. We're reviewing procedures to prevent future miscommunication. Alexis notices what's missing. No mention of racial profiling, no acknowledgement of degrading language, no accountability for civil rights violations, just miscommunication and procedures. Director Carter arrives within 15 minutes. News crews multiply outside like bacteria. She addresses media with ice-cold professionalism. Agents Williams were conducting authorized federal surveillance when unlawfully detained by local police. This directly compromises our money laundering investigation. The FBI expects full cooperation from local law enforcement. Tonight's events are completely unacceptable. Social media explodes nationally. FBI twins, 847,293 tweets. Police profiling, 1,247,839 posts. Justice, 4 agents, 293,847 shares. Systemic racism, 2.1 million mentions. Viral clips spread everywhere. Coleman's shock at FBI credentials, Alexis's composure while handcuffed. Morgan's calm FBI director call, Henderson's panicked escape crowd's outraged reactions. Public opinion splits predictably. Conservative voices defend police. Officers followed procedure based on anonymous tip. How could they know without identification? FBI should coordinate with local police. Progressive responses focus on racism. Professional black women still face profiling. FBI training evident in their calm response. This proves education doesn't protect against racism. Political reactions pour in. Senator Warren tweets, "Tonight highlights systemic racism in law enforcement. Federal agents shouldn't need badges for basic human dignity." Governor Richards, We support officers making difficult decisions. However, tonight requires thorough investigation. Police Union President Morrison. Officer Coleman responded appropriately. Why were FBI agents operating without local notification? The ACLU statement goes viral. This proves no amount of education or professional status protects Black Americans from racial profiling. By midnight, the story generates 12.3 million social media interactions, 47 major news network mentions, 847,293 Google searches, international media coverage. But systemic response reveals troubling patterns. Excuses flow faster than accountability. Procedure discussions replace racism acknowledgement. Institutions protect their own. The powerful close ranks while the Williams sisters realize their real fight is just beginning. Next morning. The FBI regional office buzzes with activity. Director Carter convenes an emergency meeting in Conference Room 12A. Wall screens display social media metrics, news coverage analytics, and investigation timelines. 12 hours, Carter announces to the assembled agents. This incident generated more public attention than most federal cases receive in months. We need answers. Special Agent Rodriguez presents her preliminary findings. Computer analysis reveals disturbing patterns across multiple jurisdictions. This isn't isolated, Rodriguez explains, highlighting data on the main screen. 73 incidents in the past year involving suspicious person calls targeting well-dressed Black professionals. The statistics paint a chilling picture. 89% originated from anonymous tips. 67% occurred in upscale establishments. 84% involved subjects wearing business attire. 0 arrests resulted in actual convictions. Someone is systematically weaponizing police response, Rodriguez concludes. Morgan, despite being yesterday's victim, leads the digital forensics investigation. Her MIT background and FBI cyber training reveal sophisticated coordination. The anonymous tip about us came from a burner phone, she reports, displaying call metadata. The same device made 17 similar calls in the past 6 months. The pattern emerges clearly. Always reports suspicious Black males or females in professional attire. Always provides accurate clothing descriptions. Always calls during peak social hours. Always targets establishments in affluent areas. Whoever made these calls had visual confirmation of targets, Morgan continues. They were watching before reporting. Alexis follows the money trail using FBI financial analysis protocols. Banking records reveal shocking connections. Burner phone purchases correlate with cash withdrawals from 3 accounts, she reports. All 3 receive monthly transfers from Henderson's business network. The evidence mounts systematically. Email discovery from Henderson's seized computers. Subject: surveillance concerns, Williams sisters. Twin visitors asking detailed questions about cash flow operations. Recommend immediate distraction protocol implementation. Bank records show suspicious patterns. Account 847291. Monthly $2,500 transfers to Security Consulting LLC. Account 847292. Cash withdrawals matching burner phone purchase dates. Account 847293. Payments to information services, $500 per incident. Phone metadata analysis reveals coordination. 17 calls to police from same burner device. GPS tracking shows caller following targets before reports. Call duration exactly 45 seconds each time. Calls made within hours of Henderson meetings. The criminal network expands beyond simple money laundering. Henderson's organization had developed systematic defense strategy. Identify potential threats through surveillance. Use racial profiling to trigger police harassment. Create plausible deniability through anonymous reporting. Protect criminal enterprises by neutralizing investigators. Agent Davis presents victim interviews from other incidents. Dr. James Mitchell, prominent cardiologist. Handcuffed outside medical conference, police said I looked suspicious wearing my conference suit. Attorney Lisa Washington, detained during client dinner at an upscale restaurant. Anonymous tip claimed I was casing the establishment for robbery. Professor David Clark. Campus police called on me 3 times this semester, always after attending faculty social events. Each victim describes identical patterns: professional attire, upscale locations, anonymous tips with accurate descriptions, aggressive police response. Technology analysis reveals digital sophistication, encrypted communications between Henderson associates, dark web hiring of information specialists, cryptocurrency payments, avoiding traditional banking, social media monitoring, identifying potential investigators. Corporate connections emerge through financial forensics. Henderson's legitimate businesses provided security consulting contracts with private investigation firms, information sharing agreements with corporate clients, campaign contributions to local political figures. The conspiracy reaches disturbing depths. Henderson hadn't just been laundering money, he'd been systematically corrupting law enforcement processes, turning police into unwitting weapons against federal investigations. Internal police review reveals uncomfortable truths. Captain Hayes faces federal investigators. 17 suspicious person calls handled by your department this year, Agent Thompson notes. All involving black professionals. What's your assessment? I hadn't recognized the pattern until now, Hayes admits. Officer Coleman specifically handled 14 of these calls. His approach? Aggressive, but within policy guidelines. Policy guidelines that include calling young women sluts and whores? Hayes has no answer. Media investigation deepens the story. Investigative journalist Maria Santos uncovers additional corruption. Public records show Henderson's businesses donated $50,000 to the Police Benevolent Association this year. Same organization providing legal defense for officers in misconduct cases. Federal prosecutors outline multiple prosecution strategies. Criminal charges under consideration. Civil rights conspiracy, 18 U.S.C., Secor 241. Obstruction of federal investigation, 18 U.S.C., Ward 112. Wire fraud through coordinated false reporting. RICO violations for organized criminal enterprise. Civil litigation potential. Section 1983 civil rights violations. Intentional infliction of emotional distress. Systematic harassment of federal agents. Conspiracy to obstruct justice. FBI behavioral analysis creates profile of weaponized policing. This represents evolution in criminal defense strategy. Instead of avoiding law enforcement, they're manipulating it as a weapon against threats. Technology evidence expands the scope. Henderson's network monitored federal agents across 17 states. Cryptocurrency transactions, funding false reporting campaigns, encrypted coordination with corrupt law enforcement contacts, international money laundering connections. The investigation reveals systematic attack on federal law enforcement. Henderson's organization had infiltrated police communications, tracked federal agents, and weaponized racial bias to protect criminal operations. As evidence mounts, Tyler receives encrypted message on secure FBI device. Agent Williams, your investigation threatens powerful interests. Some truths carry dangerous consequences. Consider this friendly warning. The message routes through multiple proxy servers before tracing to an IP address registered under Henderson Security Solutions. The conspiracy goes deeper than anyone imagined, and someone doesn't want them digging further. 1 week after Murphy's Bar. Alexis checks her apartment building's security footage for the 4th time today. 2 unmarked sedans have circled her block repeatedly since Tuesday. Her FBI training recognizes surveillance patterns, but the watchers stayed just outside legal action range. The phone rings at 3:17 a.m. Unknown number. Agent Williams, the electronically distorted voice says, some lessons need to be learned the hard way. Click. Dial tone. Alexis sits in her kitchen, gun within reach, wondering if federal agent status provides any real protection. Morgan discovers someone entered her apartment while she was at work. Nothing stolen, but clear signs of intrusion. Her laptop moved exactly 2 inches from its usual position. Books on her shelf reorganized alphabetically when she always keeps them by subject. They wanted me to know, Morgan tells Alexis over encrypted FBI communication. This isn't about robbery, it's psychological warfare. The sisters realize they're fighting battles on multiple fronts. FBI Regional Office receives flood of anonymous complaints about the Williams twins. Agents compromised operational security through reckless behavior. Failed to coordinate with local law enforcement per protocol. Created public relations, nightmare-damaging interagency cooperation. Internal Affairs opens preliminary review. Instead of investigating the conspiracy, the twins find themselves defending their professional conduct. Maybe you should have identified yourselves earlier, Agent Rodriguez suggests during the coffee break. Avoided the whole incident. We were maintaining cover for a federal investigation, Alexis responds sharply. The cover that got blown anyway, Rodriguez shrugs. Now everyone's asking questions about FBI protocols. The isolation begins. Colleagues who once supported them start maintaining professional distance. The viral incident makes them controversial figures within their own agency. Conservative media outlets shift narrative against them. Rogue FBI agents create police relations crisis. Federal overreach undermines local law enforcement. Williams sisters, heroes or troublemakers? Anonymous sources provide reporters with illegally obtained information. Personnel file details suggesting aggressive investigation tactics. Photos of the twins in expensive clothing, living beyond FBI salary. False claims about previous civilian complaints. Family becomes a target. Alexis and Morgan's mother, retired Baltimore teacher Patricia Williams, receives disturbing calls. Your daughters need to learn their place in society. FBI badges won't protect them from everything. Some people get taught lessons they never forget. Morgan's girlfriend, Dr. Sarah Kim, finds her medical practice website hacked. Patient appointment systems corrupted. Anonymous online reviews claiming unprofessional behavior and questionable medical practices flood rating sites. Financial pressure mounts. Both sisters receive IRS audit notifications. Timing suggests someone triggered enhanced government scrutiny of their finances. Legal fees accumulate for personal attorneys since FBI counsel has conflict of interest. Professional relationships strain. Director Carter privately suggests they consider lower-profile assignments until controversy dies down. The political heat is intense, Carter explains during the closed-door meeting. Some congressmen want this investigation scaled back to preserve law enforcement relationships. What about justice? Morgan asks. Sometimes justice is expensive, Carter replies carefully. Maybe too expensive for the current political climate. The twins realize institutional support is evaporating. Psychological pressure intensifies. Alexis develops insomnia, checking locks multiple times nightly. Every sound triggers hypervigilance trained into FBI agents, but now turned against peaceful sleep. Morgan withdraws socially, cancels weekend plans with friends, stops attending her weekly volleyball league. The isolation feeds their enemy's strategy. Breaking point arrives during team briefing. After receiving 9th threatening call that week, Morgan snaps. "We're federal agents," she shouts at assembled colleagues. "We took oaths to uphold justice. These criminals threaten our families, sabotage our careers, and nobody wants to fight back because it's politically inconvenient." The conference room falls silent. Director Carter's expression reveals an uncomfortable truth. Political pressure is working. The investigation might be scaled back. That evening, Alexis finds Morgan in the FBI gym at midnight, hitting a heavy bag with bare fists, knuckles bleeding, exhaustion evident in every movement. "I can't take much more," Morgan admits, her voice breaking. "They're destroying everything we worked for." our reputation, relationships, and family safety. That's exactly what they want, Alexis responds. Break us down until we surrender. Maybe Rodriguez is right. Maybe some fights aren't worth the cost. For the first time in their lives, the Williams twins consider giving up. A phone call from their mother delivers the final blow. Girls, I'm staying with your aunt in Atlanta for a while. These calls, I'm scared to stay home. Two federal agents built careers protecting others. Now they can't even protect their own mother. Morgan's encrypted phone buzzes with message from unknown sender. Agents Williams, you're not alone. Tomorrow 7 p.m., Riverside Park, bench number 47. Come alone. Evidence changes everything. Salvation or another trap? At this point, they have nothing left to lose. 7 p.m., Riverside Park. Bench number 47 sits beneath flickering streetlights. Alexis and Morgan approach cautiously, FBI training demanding backup, but desperation overriding protocol. The figure emerges from shadows behind oak trees. Jessica Park, Channel 7 investigative reporter who covered their story extensively. Agents Williams, thank you for coming. This better be worth risking our careers, Morgan says tersely. We're already under investigation. My name is Jessica Park, but that's not the complete truth. She produces dual credentials, press identification alongside Federal Marshal badge. I'm Federal Marshal Jessica Park, deep cover assignment investigating systematic police corruption. The twins exchange glances. Another federal agent working parallel investigation. 6 months ago, the U.S. Marshal Service received complaints about coordinated harassment of federal witnesses, Jessica explains. Witnesses in organized crime cases being targeted through random police encounters that compromised their safety and testimony. She produces secure tablet containing extensive files, 18 months of documentation. Pattern analysis shows Henderson's organization pioneered weaponizing racial bias for criminal defense. Video evidence fills the screen. Security footage from 17 establishments showing Coleman repeatedly targeting black professionals. Body camera recordings showing Coleman making racist comments between calls. Dashcam video capturing Coleman celebrating successful harassment. That's how you handle uppity college types. Audio recordings reveal coordination. Phone conversations between Henderson associates planning false reports. Police radio chatter showing Coleman volunteering for suspicious person calls internal discussions about maintaining proper order in upscale establishments. Financial documentation exposes the money trail. Bank statements showing Henderson payments to consultation services, cash withdrawal patterns, matching burner phone purchase dates, cryptocurrency transactions routing through offshore accounts, payment schedules for information specialists. Morgan reviews digital evidence on a secure laptop. This is incredible. You documented 18 months of systematic targeting. More than documentation, Jessica continues. I have testimony from 47 victims who were afraid to speak publicly before now. Database displays comprehensive victim profiles, federal prosecutors investigating Henderson's associates, IRS agents auditing his business network, DEA officers tracking his drug connections, federal judges' family members attending social events. The night you were handcuffed wasn't random, Jessica reveals. Henderson's surveillance team identified you as FBI agents 3 weeks earlier. She shows surveillance photographs, the twins entering FBI headquarters, leaving federal court hearings, meeting with prosecutors about money laundering cases. They knew exactly who you were. Murphy's Bar incident was designed to blow your cover and destroy your investigation. Hope flickers for the first time in weeks. This evidence can expose their entire operation, Alexis says. Beyond exposure, Jessica adds. U.S. Marshal Service coordinated with the FBI Internal Security Division. Political pressure to abandon your case is being challenged at the highest federal levels. Additional allies emerge from Jessica's network. Federal agents working connected cases, ATF agent Maria Santos, investigating weapons trafficking through Henderson's network. DEA agent Robert Carter, tracking drug money laundering schemes. Secret Service agent David Kim, investigating cryptocurrency fraud connections. Community leaders organizing support. NOACP, Legal Defense Fund, preparing comprehensive civil rights lawsuit. ACLU documenting patterns for federal court filing. Local Business Association organizing boycotts of establishments enabling harassment. Political backing strengthens. Senator Warren demanding full federal investigation. Representative Clyburn introducing police accountability legislation. State Attorney General making case centerpiece of corruption prosecution. Technology support reveals sophisticated assistance. An anonymous hacker collective leaked Henderson Organization's internal communications overnight. Encrypted servers compromised, financial records exposed, coordination documents published across the internet. Leaked materials include target neutralization protocols for federal agents, payment schedules for coordinated false police reporting, blackmail files maintained on corrupt officers, expansion plans for operations in 12 additional cities. Legal coordination accelerates across jurisdictions. Criminal prosecution strategy. RICO charges against Henderson's entire organization. Federal civil rights violations for systematic harassment. Obstruction of justice for interfering with federal investigations. Money laundering conspiracy spanning multiple states. Civil rights litigation. Class action lawsuit representing all documented victims. Injunctive relief requiring comprehensive police training programs, monetary damages for harassment and career damage. Court-supervised police department reform implementation. Jessica hands encrypted storage devices to the twins. Everything backed up on secure federal servers. Copies distributed to multiple news organizations and congressional offices. If anything happens to any of us, evidence becomes public automatically. Community pressure builds momentum online. #Justice. 4 FBI twins reaches 2.7 million tweets. Systemic racism trending in 47 cities. Police profiling generating 4.1 million posts across platforms. Peaceful protests organize in 23 cities demanding accountability and systematic reform. Corporate accountability follows public pressure. Major banks cancel contracts with Henderson-connected businesses. Real estate partnerships dissolved. Security consulting agreements terminated nationwide. Financial pressure forcing operational abandonment. Personal safety restored through federal intervention. Marshal Service provides security details for family members. Threatening phone calls traced and prosecuted. Anonymous harassment campaigns disrupted through cyber task force operations. Professional vindication arrives. FBI Internal Affairs Review concludes twins acted appropriately under extreme circumstances. Director Carter publicly supports their actions. Commendations recommended for professional conduct under pressure. Henderson's in federal custody, Jessica announces. Associates arrested simultaneously across 7 states. Warrants executed this afternoon. Federal grand jury indictments unsealed tomorrow morning. The systematic conspiracy crumbles, but the biggest revelation awaits. Morgan's priority FBI alert buzzes. Operation complete. Henderson Organization dismantled. Financial networks seized. Corruption evidence secured. 3 months of undercover work wasn't wasted after all. Justice delayed, but not denied. The truth is finally emerging, and nothing can stop it now. Federal courthouse steps. 3 days later. Media trucks line Constitution Avenue like an electronic army. Satellite dishes reach toward the gray November sky. Crowd estimates hit 15,000 as supporters gather for Henderson's federal arraignment. Mike Torres stands before professional live stream setup, equipment donated by supporters worldwide. What's up, everyone? Mike here at the federal courthouse where history unfolds. 3 months ago, filming a drink order at my bar changed everything. Viewer count climbs. 847,293 across multiple platforms and growing exponentially. Social media coordination reaches unprecedented scale. FBI twins. Justice. 12.7 million tweets globally. End racial profiling. 8.3 million Instagram posts. Systemic change. 15.2 million TikTok views. Henderson. Conspiracy. 4.7 million Facebook shares. Coordinated demonstrations span 89 cities across America. Los Angeles. 45,000 protesters at City Hall demanding police reform. Chicago, 67,000 marching down Michigan Avenue for accountability. Atlanta, 23,000 at State Capitol calling for federal oversight. New York, 78,000 filling Times Square with justice demands. All peaceful, all demanding systemic change, all live-streamed globally. Celebrity endorsements amplify the message. Actor Michael B. Jordan tweets, "These agents represent the best of law enforcement professionalism." Singer Beyoncé posts, "Justice delayed is justice denied, #FBI twins." Athlete LeBron James shares, "Professionalism under pressure deserves respect." Comedian Dave Chappelle jokes, "Even FBI badges can't stop racist assumptions." Corporate responses cascade. Nike, "We stand with agents who stood for justice." Apple, "Technology should protect citizens, not persecute them." Google, "Data reveals truth when institutions fail." Microsoft, "Professional excellence deserves protection everywhere." Political momentum accelerates. The House Judiciary Committee announces emergency hearings on police accountability measures. Senate Intelligence Committee reviews interagency coordination protocols. Congressional Black Caucus introduces comprehensive federal legislation. The presidential administration prepares executive orders on law enforcement training. Federal prosecutors announce expanded investigation results. 127 additional victims identified across 17 states. 23 police officers under federal investigation. 8 jurisdictions involved in systematic conspiracy. $47 million in fraudulent schemes uncovered. Grassroots activism mobilizes. Local churches provide sanctuary and legal support for harassment victims. Business associations organize boycotts of Henderson-connected establishments. Student groups launch campus activism and voter registration drives. Professional organizations establish legal defense funds and expert testimony. Media coverage evolves beyond initial incident. International outlets feature the American police reform movement. Documentary crews film for streaming platform releases. Podcast series Deep Dive, Henderson Conspiracy reaches #1 on Apple Podcasts. Law schools teach cases as police accountability precedent. Anonymous hacker collectives release additional materials. Internal police communications showing conspiracy awareness. Henderson organization client lists revealing wealthy co-conspirators. Banking records exposing money flow to corrupt officials. Video evidence of coordinated harassment campaigns. Courthouse steps become a spontaneous community forum. Citizens share personal experiences. I was profiled at Starbucks wearing a business suit. Police followed me home from a networking event. An anonymous tip got me arrested at my own office building. They treated me like a criminal for attending a conference. Stories create powerful testimony documenting systematic harassment across professional communities. Federal Judge Maria Rodriguez announces expedited hearing schedule. Public interest demands swift justice. This court will not tolerate intimidation of federal agents or systematic civil rights violations. International attention intensifies. United Nations Human Rights Commission requests briefing on case developments. International media frames the story as a test of American justice system integrity. Economic impact devastates Henderson's empire. Stock prices plummet for connected companies. Real estate investments liquidated under pressure. Government contracts canceled nationwide. Banking relationships severed permanently. Unstoppable momentum builds. What began as Murphy's Bar incident has become a national movement for police accountability and racial justice. Federal Marshal Jessica Park receives urgent communication during the courthouse rally. Agent Park, we have a serious problem. Henderson's federal holding cell is empty. Security footage shows coordinated escape. He's gone. The mastermind vanished. The greatest challenge lies ahead. But the movement continues. Justice demands it. Federal Courthouse Courtroom, 7A, 2:47 p.m. Judge Rodriguez's gavel echoes through the packed courtroom. Every seat filled, overflowing crowds watching screens in adjacent rooms. The international media section buzzes with reporters from 12 countries. Henderson's empty defendant chair dominates the proceedings like the accusation itself. Ladies and gentlemen, Judge Rodriguez announces, we proceed with federal arraignment despite the defendant's flight. Federal marshals coordinate nationwide manhunt as we speak. U.S. Attorney Michael Carter approaches the bench with devastating confidence. Your Honor, we possess evidence that defendant Henderson's escape was coordinated with corrupt law enforcement officials. Courtroom screens activate. Game-changing evidence presentation begins. Video evidence displays security footage from a federal detention center. Henderson's cell door unlocks remotely at 3:17 a.m. No guards visible anywhere. Electronic override clearly initiated from an external source. Audio evidence plays phone conversation between Henderson and unknown collaborator. Extraction plan activated. Transportation waiting at service entrance. New identity documents prepared. Wire transfer confirmed. Digital evidence shows bank transfer of $2.7 million to Security Solutions LLC occurring 47 minutes before Henderson's documented escape. Alexis and Morgan take witness stand together. Unprecedented federal court procedure for twin testimony. Your Honor, Alexis begins, Agent Morgan Williams and I were not randomly targeted at Murphy's Bar. Henderson's organization identified us as federal threats through systematic surveillance of FBI operations spanning 3 months. Morgan continues seamlessly. Digital evidence proves Henderson's network infiltrated law enforcement communications, tracking federal agents across multiple states, coordinating harassment through corrupt police contacts. Prosecutor Carter reveals the smoking gun evidence. Your Honor, federal investigation uncovered Henderson Organization's law enforcement partnership program, systematic corruption of police departments spanning 17 states. Comprehensive evidence fills multiple screens, $12.7 million payments to 247 police officers, 1,147 false police reports filed protecting Henderson's interests. 89 federal investigations, compromised or destroyed, 23 federal witnesses, intimidated, relocated, or silenced. Officer Coleman testifies under federal immunity, his career destroyed. I thought I was following legitimate procedure. Anonymous tips seemed credible. Henderson's security company provided training to our entire department. Training that included racial profiling techniques? Prosecutor Carter asks. Coleman's silence condemns him completely. Public gallery erupts as revelations unfold. Victims recognize systematic patterns in their experiences. Police families realize their loved ones were manipulated. Community leaders see scope of institutional corruption. Media representatives scramble to report breaking developments. Mike Torres broadcasts live from courtroom gallery. 847,000 viewers witnessing federal prosecutors expose the biggest police corruption scandal in American history. This started with FBI agents handcuffed at my bar 3 weeks ago. Comments flood faster than reading. Justice is happening. Henderson belongs in prison forever. Police reform needed everywhere. These agents are genuine heroes. Federal Marshal Jessica Park enters courtroom with urgent breaking news. Your Honor, defendant Henderson apprehended at a private airfield attempting flight to non-extradition jurisdiction. Defendant currently en route to federal courthouse under maximum security. The courtroom explodes in sustained applause. Henderson arrives in an orange federal jumpsuit, expensive suits replaced by prison attire. He faces the Williams sisters he systematically tried to destroy. Henderson's final statement reveals his mindset. I exercised constitutional rights to legitimate business operations and legal self-defense measures. Alexis responds with devastating calm. Mr. Henderson, you systematically violated the constitutional rights of federal agents and American citizens. Your business was a criminal conspiracy. Your self-defense was attacking justice itself. Evidence overwhelms any possible defense strategy. Henderson's attorney attempts desperate plea negotiation. Your Honor, my client operated a legitimate security consulting business serving the law enforcement community. Prosecutor Carter responds definitively. Legitimate businesses don't pay police officers to file false reports. Legitimate businesses don't systematically target federal agents. Legitimate businesses don't flee federal custody through coordinated corruption. Judge Rodriguez renders decisive judgment. Federal grand jury returned indictments on 47 counts, including RICO violations, civil rights conspiracy, obstruction of justice, corruption of law enforcement, and flight to avoid prosecution. Defendant remanded to federal custody without possibility of bail pending trial. Gavel strikes. Justice achieved publicly. Outside courthouse, Alexis and Morgan address 15,000 gathered supporters. Today proves justice works when communities demand accountability. Every person who shared our story, every voice demanding truth, every citizen refusing to accept systematic oppression, you made this victory possible. Morgan continues, this case proves that professional competence, federal authority, and constitutional rights mean nothing without community support demanding systemic change. The crowd roars approval. But Morgan's encrypted phone buzzes with disturbing message. Agents Williams, Henderson was a small operation. Real conspiracy targets Supreme Court justices, federal prosecutors, congressional leadership. Investigation just beginning. Larger forces awakening. Victory feels incomplete. Henderson's capture represents one battle won, but a larger war for justice continues. The fight for accountability has only begun. 6 months later, FBI Regional Office Ceremony Room. Director Carter pins commendation medals on Alexis and Morgan Williams for exceptional courage under pressure and unwavering commitment to justice. Legal outcomes reshape law enforcement. Henderson, 47 years federal prison, $23.7 million restitution. Officer Coleman, 12 years prison, civil rights violations. 17 police officers, various sentences, dismissals, prosecutions. Henderson Organization, RICO forfeiture, $67 million seized. Social transformation follows. Federal Police Accountability Act passes Congress requiring interagency communication protocols. Bias training for all law enforcement. Federal oversight of local departments. Protected status for federal agents. Community impact spreads. 247 victims receive compensation. Police departments in 23 states implement reform programs. FBI local police coordination established nationwide civil rights monitoring, expanded personal resolution. Alexis, promoted to supervisory special agent, heads Police Accountability Division. Morgan, leads FBI Cybercrimes Task Force investigating corruption. Both, speakers at law enforcement academies teaching bias recognition. Mike Torres receives Journalism Award, Outstanding Citizen Journalism in Service of Justice. His acceptance speech. I just filmed what I saw. Sometimes that's all it takes to change the world. After credit beat, Morgan's secure phone receives an encrypted message. Agents Williams' Henderson case was test run. Real operation targets Supreme Court justices. Evidence package incoming. The message disappears through 17 proxy servers. Statistics display. Original live stream. 47.3 million total views. Congressional hearings, 127 hours testimony. Police officers trained, 847,000 nationwide, lives changed. Immeasurable. If this story inspired you, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Drop a comment sharing your own experiences with police accountability. Your voice matters in the fight for justice. Share this video everywhere. Tag 3 friends who need to see this. Together, we can create the change our communities deserve. Closing text. Based on true events occurring nationwide. Names changed to protect ongoing investigations. For resources on police accountability, visit fbi.gov/civil rights. Final frame. FBI badge next to citizen journalist's phone, symbolizing collaboration between institutions and community in pursuing justice. The Williams sisters proved truth and courage overcame systematic oppression. Justice delayed, but never denied.